How's it going, guys? This is Muse, myself at home here, and while I'm doing my introduction, I'm gonna fix. Oh, I just moved the window. That happens much more than you would think. I am going to fix something, but I just listened to the instrumental recreation of Starlight by Muse, and hold on, no, it wasn't there. It was okay, so it was after. And hold on, let me fix that. I'll be right back. Oh wait, that was wrong. But all right, I had grouped up the snare so it was twice as loud as it needed to be. But like I do with all the other ones, I figured now I'll just play the whole thing beforehand and then I'll talk about it afterwards. One thing you need to keep in mind though is what I'm going to start doing on this one and probably every single one after. Sounds like shit with headphones and like good headphones. Like it sounds fine with iPod headphones, but the fancy ones I have, it makes me cry as a musician how bad it is. So just know that if you're listening with like skull, I have a pair of skull candies and they sound the same way. If you're listening to this with anything other than iPod headphones, it probably does not sound that good. And I'm sorry, I'm working on that. That's going to be a second version that it's going to be under the video in the description, but that's going to take me some time to figure out. So, let's start off. I only used 23 patterns this time. That was the wrong button. All right. So for here, no, that was automation clips. Unsorted. Here we go. For the intro, you have the so we have that, and that is composed of two different instruments. It's composed of, I don't even know where I got this one from because it's not save often. Shush. Okay. So that's the boo bass. That's what it sounds like without it. And this is the other one. It's like a harmony style thing. And it sounds pretty rad. So I have this is the one I started to use effects to try to make it sound more natural. And on effects number 2 I have the phaser set to stun. No, I just have the phaser on it. So it sounds like this instead of so it doesn't sound as flat. All right. So that goes on whoa. Okay, never mind. Just changed all the. So I did the same thing here. Still. Whoops, I changed that. And it's the same setting. I have 7 setting, and then I made like the 7th one, I think, for something, and then I figured that it sounded like trash, so I scrapped like the whole instrument and all of this stuff I put out on the playlist editor. So yeah. The next one is the guitar. It's the main melody. If you go, so like I do with all the other ones, I'll leave a link to the actual song in the description as well. Just kick something, and this is the main melody, and it's just a guitar. And I have phaser set to stun again, but I have the delay for the echo, the phaser, and the reverb. So it sounds like this. It sounds like that without anything, and that's just the echo. And then the phaser. which just adds, I can be using the spacebar, it just adds more depth, and that reverb is for like room size. So it's like the natural echo of a room, like a concert hall, instead of having like the more fake echo. But the delay bank and the reverb work well together. So when you put, then the phaser applies to all the reverb and the echoes you put on it. All right. So this is the hat. Some exciting stuff, huh? That's here. So I have them all. So this is the boo bass. This is the main melody. That's the snare. That's the bass drum. There you go. All right, there we go. Spelled incorrectly, obviously. So it's just plain simple, nothing on that. Okay. Number 5 is is this. So we get all the way down to here, and that's this part, and it has the first effect that the main melody has on it. That is not what I wanted to do. This is what I want to click on. All the same things. There you go. So now this is the electric guitar part that you get right here. So I had labeled it guitars because it's technically the regular guitar and the electric guitar. So it's not. So that has its own effects channel, which has the delay bank, the phaser, and the reverb, but it has different levels than the first one. You can see on the side there, and it goes boom. So it has less delay and phaser, but it has more reverb, and it has less reverb. So it sounds like this without anything. It is the most dry-ass sounding guitar that I had ever heard in my life. But it was the only one that sounded good enough that I could put in chords over other instruments. And that is from, I have extra stuff in the... goddamn extra folder. Let me collapse that. Bam. So I got it from Guitar Loops, and that's the it's in here somewhere, but I got it from the Guitar Loops. And then I have all these other ones, which out of all of them, how many toms and like other like percussion like drums that I needed, I got like 5. But I got 75 cowbells. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But yeah. I use like the guitar sound fonts and like the cymbals kit and the like one other of them. So it sounds really, really dry, and it sounds painful. It actually sounds pretty painfully dry. But then you do this. There you go. And then it sounds better with the phaser on, but it still sounds really empty. So when you put the reverb on it, it sounds pretty swiggity swah. Alright. So the next one is this one right here. I'm gonna have to remember to unhide the mouse, okay? Because I have it hidden while I scroll through it. So pattern number 7 right here in the middle is where you lead up to the how do you lead up to that? So it's still the main, like the main melody instrument, so it still has all of the same effects on it. But at the end, you boom, 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 you go. That was not what I wanted to do. So that happens at the end. Okay, so now 8 is so when I do these, I usually finish one instrument and then I move on to the next. So this is why the boo bass for the very last ending note is pattern number 8 and not that pattern near the end. Ready? So this is the God. This is over here somewhere. So the bass is at the top. Oh my God, where is it? Never mind, I found it. I'm blind. So it's right here. At not really the middle of the song, kind of leading up to it. That is the wrong one. This one. So that's like the chorus part. And then this is the build up here. So now we head next, we have the we have that, which is over here, which is the long chorus refrain part with the bunch of synth. So the really, really long synth. So next we move on to the crashes that you hear. That is why I have the volume control automation things are 2 of them for 1 crash cymbal, because they are 2 crash cymbal. So one of them sounds like this, and the other sounds like this, and they sound much better together. So they have their own effects channel, which is basically just a reverb, or they sound like this. Okay. But at this point, since I was adding effects to everything, very few things do have them, because then they just sound out of place. So it's just like you can't have on a like reverbed vocals on a reverb track. It's the same kind of thing. So that's that, and those just go straight onto here. Like most of the other ones you see here are crash cymbal. There's just one single thing. It's not like a whole plotted chart, so I just pasted them over and over and over again, like here for the hats. The hat singular. So that's the this is at the end here. So there's 3 different cymbals now being used, because it calls for like 4, because it calls for. If you listen to the song, there are 4 types of crash cymbals, but I just couldn't be bothered because it was just not necessary. So this one has the same as the other crash cymbals, and so it's more of like a harsh, metally, sharp kind of cymbal that gives that. Oh no, I clicked on the slider. So that's what this is. So it's more of like a garbage can lid. So now we have the ride cymbal, which is throughout. I'm just gonna say throughout. No, that's pattern 14. all right. Okay, so we have here, and you do not believe how many times that happens when I don't use the middle mouse to navigate, like every single fucking time. So these sounds kind of bad by itself, but it sounds good. Sounds good in the song because it has other things over it, and this has its own. Once again, we venture into the new one, which has a different amount of reverb. Or it would sound like this. No, it would not. And that just doesn't sound good in general. So now we move on to, not that one. So now we move on to the second guitar part. Well, the secondary guitar part later in the song right here. So you get a boom. And this is the same guitar that I used before. It has the same effects on it. Yeah. So now we move on to the last one, which is very, very long, and it has the weird slidey part in it. Diddle. Has that. So we have this. So it's actually individual notes because I couldn't. The slide function is weird, and I'm pretty amateurish at making music. You never know, right? Like, it sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound bad, like really bad. So you'd never really know. So it's kind of just the slide. And that's how it happens. So that's obviously the same one. So that is the second part. So we had this one before, which is the higher register one, and now we have the lower register one. Which is again is on the effects channel of the main melody. So now we move on to the synth, which is just a bunch of it's just a bunch of chromatic scales up and down, which is citrus. There you go. I changed it so it wouldn't open the plugin every time because it's kind of annoying. And that has its own. Da da da. Never mind, I lied. Something just flashed on my screen. So it doesn't have its own. It just sounds like that because it's through Citrus, so it has its own effects. So now 20 is the same thing, but it's more chromatic scales, but at different pitches and much longer. And it repeats a bunch of times. Stuff like that. So that's the kick drum. That's the tom that happens in, which is down here, which has this massive thing for only these little events. Done. Ta. And that is it. Also, the one thing I didn't point out was another audio clip. Was since it doesn't have anything in here, it doesn't have a pattern, because it is me basically hitting my mouse for the that's me hitting my mouse. Originally I had one where I was tapping on the mouse pad, but it turned out to be like really peaking and inconsistent and just sounded like crap. So there we go, that has it. That was relatively short because I didn't have to go through so many patterns. There we go, that was the Starlight the recreation of Starlight by Muse. I'll be putting out, like I said, second version that sounds good for headphones, so I can sleep soundly at night and not have to cry myself to sleep because of how it sounds through headphones. Will be sometime thing. But I had to record this before I could actually start on that, or else it would sound weird and it would be incomplete. It would sound off because I don't want to wait that long. So thank you for watching. All the links to everything, the SoundCloud. So if you just wanted the music, the original song, when I get it up, the second version that sounds good through headphones and doesn't make me want to cry, will be down below as well. Thanks for watching. This has been Muse Myself at Home, signing out. Peace out, guys.